there are flowers. Flowers have been delivered from a prisoner. So if anyone's expecting flowers from a prisoner, they're at the front desk. Thank you.
Okay, and we are frosting the cake, and we want it to sound delicious and go. People have, like, it's very clear. You know, certain people, to me, it's a mystery. Like Ellen. What her butt looks like? Well, I mean, it doesn't look good.
We are dangerously close to overtime, everybody. Let's get this last shot, please, and break for lunch.
The perfect cup of coffee. That's what we pour at High Horse Coffee House. But it's not for everyone. Frankly, your taste buds probably can't appreciate how complex and rich our coffee is. And you know what? It angers us to think of you drinking it. Okay, there it is. And hey, let's take it a step further. We despise you. Our coffee is f***ing amazing and...
Okay, we are on.
Cookie, no, we didn't install a urinal in the studio.
We are on.
Cookie, we looked it up, and implausible with an L is not a word.
That's implausible. Look it up a Glenn.
If we could get all the dancers to set, all of the dancers. Thank you.
I hope those cupcakes were fair game. They were delicious, the ones sitting in the big room. Did you eat them all? I just had a couple.
How many?
I don't know if I was counting. 6. Okay, those are for Carol's birthday party later on. Yeah, that's great.
This is You Don't Know Jack 2015. I'm your host, Cookie Masterson. And hey, wipe that smile off your face. This is serious. Okay, just kidding. There will be farts and stuff. So, do you two know each other, or has one of you been kidnapped? There's your hardware. You can force another player to answer immediately by hitting your screw button. If they miss it, you win extra bonus dollars. And our wrong answer of the game is brought to you by...
the San Francisco Otter Choir. Free concerts every Wednesday, except for mating season.
If you happen to find our sponsor's wrong answer of the game, you'll be rewarded with big prizes and cash. Okay, it's time.
Get ready, time for question 1.
To get started, Bootyful. Let's analyze one of Kim Kardashian's body parts. About what percentage of Kim Kardashian's brain is just made up of water? 10%, 40%, 80%, or 100%? Players 1 and 2. Kim Kardashian's brain, and everybody else's brain for that matter, is made up of about 80% water. But that other 20% is just so round and firm, I can't stop thinking about it.
Oh, Mama, gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Say it's
Here we have, his acting is alright. So, you know how they called Matthew McConaughey's resurgence as an actor his McConaissance? Well, if Matthew McConaughey is currently experiencing a McConaissance, then what period of his life just ended? The McCona Dark Ages, the McCona Industrial Age, the McCona Middle Ages, or the McCona Enlightenment Age? Players 1 and 2. The Renaissance first occurred in Italy in the late 14th century, immediately following the Middle Ages. So the McConaissance would follow the McCona Middle Ages. Which is funny because most Renaissance sculptures also need to put on a damn shirt.
Dance with me, Disco 3.
This one's called Brought to you by the letter Unibrow.
It's the put the choices into order, then buzz in and see if you are right. Question.
And if you get this one right, I'll rustle up some extra moolah for you. Arrange these Sesame Street characters in order of fewest to most eyebrows. Bert, Ernie, the Count. Ernie, Bert, the Count. Bert, Player one, you've been screwed. You got 5 seconds to pick an answer. What a pity. Player two, that was some mighty fine screwing. Why not pick up a few more bucks? Player two? Excuse me. Were you thinking of this one? Ernie has no eyebrows at all, Bert has one long single eyebrow, and the Count has two eyebrows! And yet, none of them have ever blinked. Take a stab at Duck, Duck, Swan. Say the cast of Duck Dynasty attends a performance of Swan Lake and thinks there are real waterfowl on stage. In their confusion, which character would they most likely shoot? Siegfried, Benno, Von Rothbart, or Odette? Player two, you're screwed. You got 5 seconds to pick an answer. Player one, your screw worked out. Want a little more money? Player one. Odette is a princess who has been turned into a swan, so the Duck Dynasty crew would probably fill her full of lead. Especially if they find out she once fooled around with a lady swan in college.
5 fingers.
Here's one for you. The man in the backwards yellow hat. And it's a dis or dat. Player two, you could use a lift. This one's got your name all over it. I'm going to read off 7 things, and for each one you tell me if it's an alleged antic by pop star Justin Bieber, or an antic by the classic children's book character Curious George. If it's Justin Bieber, press the square button. If it's Curious George, press the circle button. Player one. Select your answer before player two, because if you get it right and player two gets it wrong, you get that cash. We good? Here we go. Peed in a mop bucket. Act a house. Fed a bugle to an ostrich. Went to a Brazilian brothel. Forget George, I'm curious how someone could do this badly. I think we can all agree that it's time for that little bastard to get deported. And then it's your turn, Bieber. That's the end of round one. Remember, in round two, every question is worth double. And hint, hint, the wrong answer of the game is still out there waiting for you. Then get out there and make me proud. May I introduce Dumber and Dumberer 2. So there's Dumb and Dumber, and then there was Dumb and Dumberer, and then Dumb and Dumber 2. Makes perfect sense. Now, going back a few decades, there was The Odd Couple and The Odd Couple 2. So, if another remake of The Odd Couple used the superlative adjective, it would be called The Blank Couple. Odd, odder, oddest, or odderest. Player one. Odd is the adjective, odder is the comparative adjective, and oddest is the superlative adjective. But of course, everyone who made the original Odd Couple movies is dead, which means it's the perfect time for Rob Schneider to swoop in and revitalize the franchise. Player 2? No, but speaking of otter, get it? You just won the greatest hits of the San Francisco Otter Choir. Hailed as one of the top 3 otter choirs in the world, the San Francisco Otter Choir will astound you with their covers of Little Red Corvette and The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Today's wrong answer of the game gets you another 8,000 on top of your current score. Sweet.
Question 7. Get up and shake your monkey bang.
How about let it go, let it go, let it go? At which temperature would Olaf from the movie Frozen melt and die? 30 degrees Kelvin, 30 degrees Fahrenheit, 30 degrees Celsius, or 30 degrees Rankine? He's a snowman. Player 1.
Swing and a miss.
Player 2. 30 degrees is below freezing in Fahrenheit and insanely below freezing in Kelvin and Rankine. But it's pretty balmy in Celsius, about the equivalent of 86 degrees Fahrenheit. And I know, blah, 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 he could magically be saved, but I'm talking about what would happen in the real world to a talking snowman.
Follow me down to the sea.
Open wide for Kangaroo, Peanut, Albert Einstein, or Uranus.
Kangaroo, peanut, Albert Einstein, or Uranus.
First spotted in 1879. Kangaroo, Peanuts, Albert Einstein, or Uranus. Player 2, that was quality. Player 1, that answer has a hole in it. Oh, you're gonna kick yourself. Albert Einstein was first spotted in 1879, the year he was born, probably by a midwife or something, over a century after Uranus was discovered and even longer after kangaroos and peanuts. I've heard baby Einstein cried a lot because he left behind some important equations on the uterine wall. And on its way, wine or lose. If the Washington Redskins rebranded themselves with a non-offensive red-skinned mascot, what could they be called? The Washington Chardonnays, the Washington Malbecs, the Washington Pinot Blancs, or the Washington Rieslings? Players 1 and 2, this is right. Oops, this is white, which is wrong. It was begging to be picked. Chardonnays, Pinot Blancs, and Rieslings are all white-skinned grapes, but the Malbec grape is red. Although to a connoisseur like myself, Malbec is very offensive. Oh yes, I do say that was quite a burn. Take a good look at I Wanna Lick and Roll All Night. If Kiss singer Gene Simmons' tongue grew to the average length of an adult giraffe's, how deep into a woman's mouth could he stick it when he kissed her? About 5 inches deep, about 10 inches deep, about 20 inches deep, or about 30 inches deep? Player 2, any last words? Too late. Player 1, an adult giraffe's tongue is on average about 18 to 20 inches long. So that's about how deep into a woman's mouth a giraffe-tongued Gene Simmons could stick it. And if Gene Simmons' neck grew to the length of an adult giraffe's, he may not even need women anymore. Brace yourself for the attack. When you see 2 clues that match, press the X button. 2,000 if you're right. But you lose 2,000 if you're wrong. And of course,
remember the clue.
it's gotta be a match that fits this clue. Your house is made of what? What materials are their houses made from? Good luck. Takes it! Great work, Player One. You are like some beautifully toned racehorse moving ever forward with one ultimate goal in mind. Player Two, you are the steaming pile that gets left behind. But don't feel bad, cause you don't